November 19th, 1988. With only 10 days remaining before final bids are due, it appears that Ross Johnson's management team is not only on the verge of winning the largest prize in corporate history, they are about to conquer the king of the LBO, Henry Kravis.
He probably stood to lose his position as the premier leveraged buyout firm in the country. And there wasn't any question they were in that position at that time.
Then more good news for the Johnson camp. It appears that Kravis and KKR may be losing interest in the RJR takeover. In the midst of the biggest business deal in history, Henry Kravis flies off to Colorado to do something completely unexpected.
They really believed that Henry Kravis was gone. Oh, no question. They thought essentially they were the only ones left.
With the big dog seemingly out of the picture, the Johnson-Shearson team prepare for one final bid.
We're in rarefied territory. I mean, we've got the last 100 yards of Everest.
You'd be up until 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it was just wild.
We just went at it every day. What had to be done that day? Who did we have to see?
Felt like combat, strategy and tactics.
The numbers guys, they were running pell-mell, trying to figure out the right combination, the price that would finally bring it home.
After an agonizing week of number crunching, the Johnson team decides to raise their bid only $1.
The Johnson camp felt, hey, we don't really need to increase our bid. First, Boston's nutty. Henry Kravis is out skiing. He's not coming back. Let's just bump up $1 so the board will feel like it got something out of us.
However, that decision would prove to be a fatal miscalculation. Unbeknownst to Johnson or Cohen, their adversary, Henry Kravis, is not frolicking in the Colorado snow. He, too, has been preparing to strike with a new bid.
Henry and his cousin George Roberts sat down and said, you know what? Everybody thinks we're dead. Why don't we just let people think we're dead? Maybe we can lure Johnson to sleep. Maybe Johnson will only come back with a small bid and we can just roar past him.
While Kravis is skiing in Colorado, KKR is in full battle mode, putting together the highest bid possible. But while Kravis is a day away from springing his trap, a bombshell explodes in the Johnson camp on the morning of November 28th. Time magazine runs a cover story entitled "A Game of Greed." Featured on the cover, RJR Nabisco's CEO, F. Ross Johnson.
When I saw that Time cover, I thought, uh-oh. I thought we were dead. In fact, those were my words to Jack Nussbaum, we're dead.
Well, I said my mother liked it. I mean, I'm on the cover of Time.
The article stated that if successful in his LBO bid, Johnson could stand to make as much as $1 billion.
The Time magazine cover did have the effect of essentially making Ross Johnson the poster boy for greed. I mean, he was just vilified.
That magazine cover tilted the mindset of the RJR Special Committee, and I think by extension, all of its directors, except the management directors, from wanting to do the deal with Ross Johnson.
The next day, November 29th, 1988, all the players gather in New York City. Final bids are due at 5 p.m. Before bidding begins, as expected, First Boston announces that their bid has gone belly up. Just after 5 p.m., RJR's special committee opens the sealed bids of the final two. The tally? The Johnson-Shearson bid, $101 per share. KKR's bid, $106, $24.38 billion. While the special committee does not divulge the amounts of the bids, they do tell Johnson's management team that they can go home.
Well, that instills just abject panic in the management group. What do you mean we can go home?
Kravis and Roberts are invited to stay.
Henry and George look at each other and we're like, yeah, we got it.
Still unaware of the amount of Kravis's bid, Peter Cohen tries for hours that evening to get information from RJR Nabisco's special committee, to no avail.
when you're in a situation where nobody's answering your phone calls, nobody wants to talk with you, you can infer that they are negotiating with the other side and basically getting ready to shut you out.
We called Ross and we said, you know, how can we not know what's going on? There's something, you know, really strange. And, you know, he said, look, he said, we lost, we're out of this thing. And Henry is the winner, KKR is the winner. And we asked, have you had special communication from, you know, the committee? And he said, no, but I know it. And he said, in any event, he said, look, I'm done, I've had it, and we're all going home. And good work, too bad, good luck. And that was it. Ross, like, checked out.
Ross felt it had reached a point in pricing that what he started out to accomplish and where it was going, it was a losing situation. And he felt that there was no point in continuing to fight this war.
I was mad, and I picked up the phone, I called Nussbaum, and I said, look, I said, nothing's been announced. You know, what's to prevent us from making another bid?
It occurred to us that if we did nothing, we were clearly going to lose.
You start a football game, you play 4 quarters. You don't play 3 because you've been overwhelmed.
There's only one thing to do, and that is put it on the tape, go public.
Because RJR Nabisco has shut them out, at noon, November 30th, Cohen and Nussbaum initiate what amounts to a corporate Hail Mary. They place a bid on the tape.
Putting something on the tape is basically calling Dow Jones and saying Shearson is increasing its bid by $4 a share. And that, you know, the Dow Jones then prints that across the ticker, the stock ticker, and it's immediately in the public domain.
Well, the tape is the world. The tape is reality. Everybody knows what's on the tape.
Cohen's new offer, $108 per share.
Oh, I think it took about 4.5 seconds to get into that boardroom because once it became public, that boardroom was flooded with calls.
When all seems lost, Peter Cohen's brilliant gambit forces RJR Nabisco's special committee to temporarily halt negotiations with Henry Kravis. In a matter of moments, Cohen would find out if he could get back into the biggest business deal in corporate history.
Who doesn't want to be a part of history?